It's okay to not be okay. Join us May 3rd as we have an honest and raw discussion about mental health with Darius Leonard.
You know, I know there's a lot of people who's out there suffering, and the more you talk about it, the more free that you can be.
Hayden Hurst.
All these stories are so relatable, and I promise you, mental health affects everybody on this planet.
Solomon Thomas.
The biggest thing we can do is talk and to be vulnerable. You know, when I speak, I talk about the power of vulnerability because that's when you can connect with someone.
And Darren Waller.
That feeling that I was searching for can come from me and within me. I didn't have to go to somebody else or any other source.
All led by me, Carson Daly.
For people who are struggling, at the end of the day, that's kind of the question, no matter what the area of mental health that they ponder with, there's this idea that they're broken and that they're not okay, but you are okay.
To watch this groundbreaking and thought-provoking discussion and to learn how to donate to Kicking the Stigma, go to Colts.com/KTS or text Colts to 243-725.
Awesome stuff put together by the Colts. Now we'd like to welcome in some very special guests. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and in an effort to amplify the phrase, it's okay to not be okay, the Irsay family and the Indianapolis Colts are holding a 4-day virtual fundraiser to support their initiative, Kicking the Stigma. To tell us about it is Colts Vice Chair and Owner Kalen Jackson and linebacker Darius Leonard. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, happy to be here.
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Now, Kalen, how did this initiative come about, and why is it such an important cause for you and your family?
Well, it's kind of a longer story, but I'll give you the synopsis, I guess. So I oversee our family giving strategy and philosophy and community relations department, and we really sat down and challenged ourselves to commit ourselves to an initiative that's really important to our family, but also important need in the community. And as we dug more into the statistics around mental health, especially in the state of Indiana, but nationally too, the need was huge, and there's just not enough attention around this. It's something that's very personal to my family. You know, my dad has openly struggled with substance use issues over the years and is thankfully doing really well and in recovery, but I've struggled with anxiety my whole life. It's really just one of those things where it really truly does, as Hayden said in that clip, affect every single person on the planet in one way or another. And we're just happy to be, you know, championing this campaign, and we've already seen it make a huge difference, and we can't wait to continue.
It's a really important conversation, Kalen. Carson Daly hopped on the Draftathon with me on Friday night, I do believe, to talk about mental health and his role in this virtual roundtable discussion. Tell us about it. Who's participating? How can we see it? What's the event?
Yeah, so I actually watched it, and I saw you interview him. We are so glad to have him on there with you guys doing such good work on Draftathon. But you can find everything, including the roundtable, at Colts.com/KTS. That will be where all of our programming lives, but we're so excited about that roundtable that obviously Darius participated in as well, and it'll air or launch live tonight at 7 p.m. On Colts.com/KTS, and you can really look forward to such an inspirational and raw and vulnerable conversation, and really highlighting the strength that's in everyone's vulnerability and what you can overcome when you use that as a strength. And I think it's just a really beautiful thing to see players like Darius and Solomon and Darren and Hayden really using their platforms and wrapping their arms around being mental health advocates, because it's making such a huge impact using their platform that they have. And so many people look up to them, and they can be seen as such superheroes, you know, in a way. And for them to be able to break down what's been going on in their lives and show that that is happening everywhere, I think is just so impactful.
It's amazing. Darius, you're a superstar in the NFL, one of the best players in the entire league, yet you felt this was an important enough initiative to be a leader and be a voice. Tell us what you believe about the stigma surrounding mental health and why it's starting to improve.
You know, me personally, man, I think that's a fear of, you know, being looked at differently or looked at as you got a problem. But, you know, as everybody in this world, man, there's something is wrong with everybody. There's everybody dealing with, you know, some sort of anxiety, stress, or anything. And, you know, if you can't find a way to cope or find a way to, you know, get some help, you know, you're going to dig yourself in a dark hole. And, you know, me personally, back in 2012 through probably 2015, that was the worst, you know, times of my life. And, it took me, reaching out and, trying to, find some help to kind of get me back to going to, being the guy that I once was, and if I can sit up here and I can talk about it and, tell people that it's okay to not be okay. I know there's so many other people who are going, going to open up and say, okay, I can talk if this, supposedly big, strong, tough guy playing the most dangerous position on the field can say that, he has a problem with mental health and, people are reaching out and helping him. I know that someone will reach out and help me as well.
If it's okay to not be okay for the star linebacker, it is for you too. Kalen, could you tell us a little bit more about which organizations specifically are benefiting from this fundraising? And if anyone is just tuning in right now, please, again, how can people get involved and donate themselves?
Yeah, so we're really excited to be highlighting some amazing organizations for this fundraising event. We're already working with them, but we're also going to be launching a grant program. So hopefully, depending on how much we raise and we continue to raise over the years, we'll be really looking into different areas that we aren't even aware of right now that we can work with. But currently, we are working with Mental Health America, and we're also working with Bring Change to Mind, Project Healthy Minds, and NAMI, which is National Alliance on Mental Illness. And they're really all doing such incredible work. And I think it's really interesting, too, because they have local chapters and local ties to the state of Indiana. But a lot of these organizations make national impact. And that's something that we really wanted to influence here, is that we, of course, want to help the state of Indiana, but we really hope to inspire others to look into their own cities and their own neighborhoods. And if you don't donate to us today, please go and look at these organizations and what they're doing in your local cities and communities, because they really, really need the help. So for us, though, you can go to Colts.com/KTS, and you can also text to give. You can text Colts to 243725.
Kalen, it's such an important message. Thank you for sharing some time with us here on Good Morning Football. If we might talk a little football, Darius, I see you. Always great to see you. I know that you were excited about the 2021 NFL Draft. You were tweeting how happy you were about the Colts taking Michigan defensive end Kwity Paye. I mean, he's incredible. And Vandy defensive end Dio Odangbo. So, how do you see him fitting into that locker room?
Oh, man, I see them fitting right in. I'm just watching their story. Matter of fact, I watched the whole story of Paye last night, and just seeing his upbringing and seeing what motivates him. And there's a lot of people who come into this NFL and they're not motivated by the family or motivated by anything else. So to see him, seeing how hard he worked, and bench pressing 225 36 times and running a 4. I think he ran maybe a 4.5 in a 40 at that size, and at the end, and just seeing how powerful he plays. He plays like his hair is on fire, and that's what type of guys you need in the locker room, and especially for a linebacker. We need guys up front who who have that relentless effort, and you see it in both of them, and that's why I'm so excited. And you see our starting two defensive end from last year, with Danico going to Houston, to the Titans, and then we don't know what's up with Jay Houston right now, and for having these two come in right now, it's amazing. I just can't wait to see them come in and put the work and hopefully have the same success that they did in college.
Darius, you've led the league in tackles per game since 2018. You're a two-time Pro Bowler, and now you're a two-time All-Pro. You're certainly the kind of player that these young guys are looking up to. Would you describe yourself as a leader in the locker room despite how young you still are? And what would you say is the most valuable lesson that you can teach these two rookies and the entire rookie class?
Yes, I consider myself a leader. I think the way I play the game, the way I carry myself, the way I practice, and just the way I talk to people. There's a lot of people who have the fame and everything, and they don't know how to communicate with other guys. So I think that me personally, I have a great personality. I'm a big competitor, so I'm gonna hold you to the same standard that I hold myself to make this team better. And my advice is never be satisfied. Never be satisfied with getting drafted. Never be satisfied with just making one play. There's so much more to do. There's so much you can get better at. Never think that you're the best. Never think that you can't be stopped. So you got to make sure that you continue to work day in and day out and continue to prove that you belong, and you can have an impact in this league.
No doubt about it. Kalen, Darius, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this season. And thank you for everything that you guys are doing off the field, especially when it comes to bringing awareness to mental health. You guys have a good one.
Thank
too.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Morgan.